Howdy folks, it's the Creepy Kentuckian here with you from DEADPIT.com. We have a really cool review for you guys today. This is a movie that I had heard about for years, never seen, but thanks to the fine folks over at Second Sight Films, they have hooked me up with a copy for review purposes of Picnic at Hanging Rock. Now, this is a movie that's had several different releases over the years, mainly from the Criterion Company, but this is the very first time that this classic Australian film has been out in 4K, and it's coming from Second Sight, so you know it's going to be sort of a big deal. I think the movie over the years, too, has had some sort of bizarre stigma because Hanging Rock is a real place in Australia. It's a tourist attraction, if you will, and it's almost just based on this movie and the book that the movie was based on. You know, it's become almost like a weird supernatural type, destination for tourists. As far as the true story behind this, there is no true story. It was a book. It came out in the 60s. This movie is from 1975. And we are going to take a look at it today because, hey, a lot of people say this is one of the best, maybe the best Australian movie, not horror movie, just movie of all time. We are taking a look at it today on the show, and we're going to give you a look at this new 4K UHD edition from Second Sight Films and how killer is the transfer. It's an old film. It's almost 50 years old. Does it look as good as it should look? Who's to say? Let's ask Tom Atkins. Film from 1975, directed by Peter Weir, set in 1900 on Valentine's Day in Australia. It follows a group of girls from Appleyard College on a day picnic at Hanging Rock. A group of four of the girls shouldn't have done this. They decide to go further on and actually go on to the rock and explore and have all kinds of mischief and stuff because, they are young college girls. Even in 1900, I'm sure that they were still kind of, maybe a little bit more proper, but still they were kind of rambunctious and wanting to do things that they probably shouldn't do. But a group of them kind of go and explore the rock and everything. You can tell by this point in the movie that this is kind of a slower, atmospheric, almost like an artsy movie. And lo and behold, the girls go missing. No one knows what happened to them. There's no clues. They just vanished entirely. And now the people in the area are like, what in the hell is going on? Where are these girls at? There's search teams and everything. And there's clues along the way that there may be something a little more to the story, supernatural-ish, if you will. You'll just have to watch the movie to find out or not find out. I'll just say that. Because that's why this movie, I think the lack of resolution in Picnic at Hanging Rock is what a lot of people may not appreciate when they watch. This is a 2-hour movie. It's a very slowly paced movie, beautifully made. The cinematography on this is top notch, and it really is showcased well with this 4K edition from Second Sight Films. The plot of the movie is very thin. It's not really there throughout most of the film. It's kind of slowly paced. It's a 2-hour movie, nearly 2 hours. Great cinematography here. The setting is very spooky. I think that the Victorian era maybe is 1900. There's not a lot of films that I've seen that are set around this time period with the women with the umbrellas and the big hats and the lacy outfits and all that jazz. Peter Weir, sort of big deal, man. He went on to do some pretty huge movies. Dead Poets Society. One of my favorite movies of all time, The Truman Show. And I think one of the more underrated movies of his is Mosquito Coast with Harrison Ford. River Phoenix, I think, is in that as well. So he went on to do some pretty huge movies, but this was I think, one of the early movies, maybe his second film. And I don't think that he ever surpassed like the legendary status of Picnic at Hanging Rock. In Australia, this is the movie. I mean, this movie has gigantic praise throughout the entire country, and it is very well done. I will give him that. I think with Picnic at Hanging Rock, though, a lot of the people are not going to get past the end, which is, I'm not going to spoil it or anything, but there's really no end to it. It's one of those movies that kind of is left, there's no resolution, there's no answers really. But that kind of adds to the spooky factor of it, because you're like, what in the hell happened here? Rowdy Roddy Piper said, when you think you've got the answers, they change the questions. Well, there is no questions asked in this movie, really. That's the thing that's so insane about this. This movie was voted the best Australian film of all time by the Australian Film Institute. So it's not just me. I mean, Picnic at Hanging Rock is a pretty huge movie. Another interesting aspect of this movie is this is a very early film from John Jarratt, who's kind of a famous Australian actor, would later go on. Most people watching this video would remember him as the villain in Wolf Creek and the sequels and the TV show and stuff like that. So you can see a very, very young John Jarratt in this as well. But guys, this is, I mean, I'm not going to say that I love this movie, but it was definitely interesting watch. The 4K of this is fantastic. Looks amazing. As does most all of Second Sight's releases. Now, this is a standard edition. They did do a limited edition version of this as well, with the box, the book, and all that good stuff. So you can go all out for that as well. This one came out a week or two ago and is available now. It's a 2-disc edition, which 2 4K discs, 2 different cuts of the movie. You have on disc 1 the director's cut of the film, and disc 2 includes the theatrical cut. The interesting thing too is both versions of this is remastered and is in 4K. A lot of the studios here in the United States probably wouldn't have done that. They would have had, the director's cut on the 4K and the theatrical cut on a Blu-ray. Second Sight, man, they do an excellent job with their releases, and this one is no exception. So some of the extra features on this does include a feature-length documentary that was done some years back by Umbrella Entertainment. It's like a 2-hour documentary, cast some of the crew talking about their experiences with Picnic at Hanging Rock. Some of the other extra features on this include Finding the Light, a new interview with Russell Boyd, Lovely Day for Picnic, a new interview with actor Karen Robson, Crashing Through Boundaries, a new interview with camera operator John Seal, Something Beyond Explanation, Thomas Caldwell on Picnic at Hanging Rock, an interview with author Joan Lindsay, a recollection Hanging Rock 1900, outtakes, original long trailer. There is a commentary by film academics Alexander Helen Nicholas and Josh Nelson. And like I said, the Dream Within a Dream documentary, which is it's another 2-hour documentary here. But Picnic at Hanging Rock, guys, this is definite recommendation. I think all film buffs out there should at least see this, if not definitely own this. Check it out. It is available now from our good friends over at Second Sight Films. And check us out. We're over at DEADPIT.com. Give us a thumbs up.
Up your butt.
Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do or
I
don't.
want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to touch nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. and click that bell.
Hey folks, it's Oak Early Jaws. I might be banned off of YouTube, but that doesn't mean I can't get you some great shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. First, we got Steve Benningfield post goes against our community standards in nudity or sexual activity. We got the deadpit.com shirt. We got Cardboard. We got L Lord. We got Tales from the Dark Side. We got Dead Pit. And we got a Princess Puffin shirt, boss. It doesn't get any fucking better. Brandon, add the accident. Aww. But these shirts just get better and better, boss. You gotta go over to shop.deadpit.com and pick you up some shirts right fucking now. What are you fucking waiting for? Do it. Do it now, because old Curly Jaw said so.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. DeadPit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.